Well, South Dakota is better known for presidential faces than it is for bicycle races, more so for motorcycles in Sturgis than it is for a thing called Cyclo-cross in Sioux Falls. But there is a growing group of hardcore fitness freaks that have found a competition that they love in this combination of biking and hiking.
Everybody lines up in a grid, usually 6 or 8 across, and you boom, take off, just like a motocross race, as hard as you can, flat out. You see people just riding their bikes as hard as you can, getting on and off.
Get over obstacles, barriers, run-ups.
Going through sand.
Off camber, down hills or up hills.
Grunting, screaming, crashing.
It's 60 minutes of as hard of an effort that you can give.
You do usually 2 laps. They time those 2 laps and project how many you'll do in an hour. And then they'll put up how many you have left. So oftentimes that's in an hour race, somewhere in the range of you'll do 9, 10, 11 laps.
Yeah. Good job. Nice work.
My name is Patrick Lally. I started cyclocross racing, I think 5 years ago, when somebody from Sioux Falls, a guy named Chris Pearson, held a kind of renegade cyclocross race to raise money to build single track mountain bike park over at Leaders. I raced it on a single speed, fat bike, 1x1 Surly, 55-pound, I don't know, it was heavy. And I raced in the women's and children's division, and I got 3rd and thought I was going to throw up, and it was great. The sport of cyclocross really evolved in Europe in the early part of the 20th century, when the cycling craze was really taking over, before cars really became prevalent in the development of the bicycle. People were racing bikes right away, and one of the things that they would do is race essentially from town to town. I'm going to go from Bruges to Ghent as fast as I can in Belgium in the winter. And they would run through fields and jump over fences and go through streams and everything else. And so that's kind of where it started, and it just developed from there into a little bit more arranged and organized, but not much. And it still contains the same basic premise, which is it's a fall-winter sport. You race in mud and grass and dirt and anything else that is coming at you from rain and snow and all the elements on a closed track, and you have to go over barriers, what's left of what we thought of as fences, through mud, sand. It has kept that same flavor of sort of celebration and a good time. It's not really a team sport. We started a team to sort of help each other out. We try to get together once or twice a week just to work on those cyclocross bike handling skills. The more you do it, the better you get. It just has that, I'm just going to go do this and have a good time sense to it, and that really attracts people to it in a way that other bike racing or other sports don't. We have one of the best in the region, certainly, and one of the top riders in the country, named Jeff Cluck. He's very strict about his training, and so he's at a very high level.
My name is Jeff Cluck. I'm from Sioux Falls, South Dakota. This is my 7th season of doing cyclocross. It was something that I started just to kind of get away from road racing, and it was up and coming in the US and looked fun. It was in the fall, it was on grass, dirt, in a park. Kind of got into it, tried it, liked it, was good at it, and kind of went from there. I like, that you're on kind of a modified road bike with wider tires, different gearing, disc brakes now. The courses are usually, especially how dry it's been this year, it can be bumpy, it can be rough, it can be hard. You're suffering through it in a sense, but everybody is. And it's kind of like that everyone's fighting through the same obstacles. And I don't know, it's just something about being competitive with other people, but also being competitive with yourself. That's where I think I just enjoy.
I was at a race with him this weekend, and he was in just a battle both days with a guy from Omaha named Mark Savory, who's a former age group world champion. And those guys were never more than about 10 feet apart for an hour, as hard as you can. And I think that that takes not just physical ability and training, you have to be mentally strong and very, very competitive. And Jeff has those qualities to hold your body at the absolute maximum for that period of time. You're overcoming a lot of physical and mental demons through that 60 minutes that many people can't do, frankly.
There is always a point where even if you could be winning the race, it goes through your mind that maybe I should, I want to quit. This hurts, it's hard, maybe I should quit right now. It's just kind of, that's the fight I think that you go through, and whether it's a 60-minute race or whether it's a 4-hour road race or if it's a 10 or 12-hour triathlon, I'm sure those thoughts go through your mind, and it's just trying to be able to control that and focus on what you need to do, talk yourself out of it.
You have to be competitive to do well, because it's that competition, it's that drive that we all know, pushing your body farther than you knew you could. And that only comes from the art of competition. It's when you have to run a guy down before the finish of a race from 200 yards back, and your legs are screaming at you and your head's throbbing and there's sweat pouring off your head and your lungs hurt like they've never hurt before. And you don't quit because everything in your body is telling you to quit. And you don't, and you run that guy down. Now, that's sport.